Hi, and it's Friday, the 6th of June, and I guess it's about time that we had a look at a comparison between Elon Musk and Donald Trump's horoscopes. That is what I'm going to do. Now, I did think about just doing it without showing you any of the techniques in astrology, but then I thought, well, I'll just show you a couple of things and then come away from them and decode them or translate them for you, read them, as we say. So, right, the first thing I'm going to do is share, and I'm going to show you this very complicated thing. Now, bear in mind that it's really just, look if you like, but what I'm going to just explain is that Donald Trump's planets are all arranged along the top, and then down the side we have Elon Musk's planets. And where they intersect tells me something about how that person's personality, their nature, gets on with or works with the personality traits, the nature, the attributes of the other person. This is one of the things that we can use in synastry. Synastry is the act of putting two people's horoscopes together and coming up with the relationship that they have should they have a relationship. Okay, so I'm just going to point out a couple of things and I'm just going to come away with it. One of the things that really sticks out in their charts is the obvious issue to do with communication, because whilst there is Gemini in both of their charts, they both have a Mercury in Cancer. And so what this means is that they don't actually say what comes out is more emotionally led than actually led by the head, although you wouldn't think so because they both appear to be intellectually capable of saying what they want to say. With Trump, that's not so obvious, and sometimes you think, did he really think that through? It must have sounded better in his head before he said it. So I'll just quickly look at this. So here we go with down Elon Musk here, his Mercury. So his Mercury collides with a number of very sensitive places in Donald Trump's chart. So it squares his Jupiter, squares his Chiron exactly, and squares his Juno exactly. Okay, so that's something worth thinking about. And then the other couple of things I've just picked out are to do with the fire planets between them. So Donald Trump's Mars is square to Elon Musk's Jupiter. Exactly again. And then Mercury comes back into it when we look at Donald Trump's Mercury and how that squares Elon Musk's Uranus, which is not a planet that you want to argue with. Also down here, way down, there is something else. So Mercury and in Donald Trump's chart is squaring Eris in Elon Musk's, and we get another square here between the flip the planets over, so we then get the Mercury of Elon Musk, and it's squaring the Eris. Okay, I'm going to take that off now because it's really too much for most people to handle. You have to be you have to be a nerd basically with astrology to want to look at that and go, ooh. But anyway, so I need to put my glasses on now because I need to see something. So just looking at that on a piece of paper here. What we say, and now at this point, I'm only looking at planets, right? And what I have done is I have relocated Elon Musk's chart. He was actually born in Pretoria in South America, which I didn't know. But he's relocated. So he was born in the Southern Hemisphere and moved to the Northern Hemisphere. It's a mistake to use his Southern Hemisphere birth chart because he doesn't live there anymore. He lives in the Northern Hemisphere. And as far as I can see, his life is between Washington, well, was Washington, and Texas. So we really do have to relocate it to Boca Chica in Texas. Anyway, that said, it wouldn't matter where you relocated it if you're just looking at the planets. And so just looking at those planets, and it is, I really just want to sort of like go over this again, really. It's to do with how they talk to each other, how they talk in general. It's okay. That's, as is maybe, that's their particular personality, that's the quality of them. But it's what happens when they get together. So in particular, this affects Elon Musk. In particular, when he has ideas, when he thinks, when he talks, um, it's in the zodiac sign of Cancer, and okay, that can come out with a more emotional leaning than a direct sort of what am I trying to think of when when I'm thinking of air? So the strategic planning of air. Um, what he says sometimes isn't as good as his brain is. Let's put it that way. The Mercury doesn't get a clear access out. So something comes out, but his brain was way better than what he just said, which is apparently happening to me. So, um, his brain, what he notices, how he communicates, is in quite a big collision with Trump. But what it does do is it catches Trump in his worst, most humiliating parts. So where Trump is a little um, where he lacks confidence, where he has low self-esteem about himself, Elon Musk actually can get directly into that. And so Trump feels it. When Elon Musk says something, he feels it. Because Musk's Mercury is in Cancer, it is sensitive enough to sense Trump's potential wounds, and to say the right thing and not to cause hurt. But the moment there is a rift between them, then it can be that sensitive Cancer turns into like a psychic probe, which knows how to, or even without thinking, just does and says things that can really hurt Donald Trump. And so I remember just in the last video, I was talking about the fact that Trump has a year in which relationships and his own fragility are exposed for him to do the personal work, if you like. And it appears that this relationship is one that is particularly going to be a stimulus for a lot of Trump's issues this year. Okay, right. Now, let's flip that over and just go the other way. Right. Um, Trump also has a Mercury in Cancer, right? So that's the first thing to say. What he has, which Elon Musk lacks, is this ascendant in Leo. So Trump doesn't really, he doesn't have the ability to come out with words that are accurate, shall I say it that way. He's what he would prefer to be able to do is to be logical, right? And he has great admiration for someone that's clever because he doesn't feel clever himself. But what he does do is he presents on a stage a personality, a larger than life personality. And that's what everybody sees. So he gets on the stage and he's in his element. So the way that he would like to be thought of is not the way that he actually gets thought of, because everything's going in an opposite direction. The heart and mind aren't connected with Donald Trump. Okay. Now, let's just look at another couple of things. We're dealing with a lot of Gemini and a lot of Cancer. These are very young signs. They don't really have the wisdom and the experience to be able to present to us a mature, prosaic, profound impact. We don't get that kind of energy from them. And so, particularly with Gemini, because Gemini is such a young sign and tends to just jabber on, and really it's forgotten what it said a little while later. It's much more about just collecting information, collecting education, and then skipping out of the way, getting out of reach, not getting in particularly involved with things. It's quite a young Peter Pan energy. So there, once they have lost it in terms of a connection, they really struggle with something, and it's to do with attachments. Gemini does not form strong attachments. In fact, it breaks down attachments quite easily. Cancer, on the other hand, being the first water sign, does feel a sense of loss of attachment and a need for attachment. It's a nurturing water sign. It wants to cling. So, what is coming out between these two is probably the worst thing, and that is lack of attachment, and then the almost like a mother confusion, mother-child confusion about where's my security? My mother doesn't love me. I don't feel loved anymore. It's almost as if both of them will think the other has fallen out with them or doesn't love them anymore. Each is looking to the other to secure the attachment, to give it that surrounding cozy love that holds on and holds the other person to it. Um, it's like a hall of mirrors, in as much both will blame the other for not having a good attachment. And so we will get both sort of with Gemini floating free, skipping off, and then not being able to get back and get that attachment and that bonding again because neither of them know how to do it. The Gemini isn't really good at that, and Cancer becomes well, what Cancer does is it pulls, it becomes reticent, and it pulls away because mother is supposed to go after the baby and love it. The baby doesn't really feel as if it can go after the mother, or can't really, wouldn't understand it. So we're getting those issues about do you care and why do you say these things? And in Trump's case, he is getting, I would have said, quite hurt by the stuff that's going on. Right. Now, so if I put, I'm just going the other way. You see, if I look at can Trump easily hurt Elon Musk with his words, I would say to you straight away, no, not particularly. There is one thing, yeah, and it is to do with Chiron again, but it's much wider. It's 5 degrees apart, and it doesn't run all the way through with lots of other planets as well. And I have to bear in mind then that Elon Musk has told us that he has Asperger's syndrome. Asperger's syndrome is, of course, part of the whole disorder, autistic spectrum disorder, which is an umbrella term for a lot of different things that can affect the wiring in somebody's brain. So they're wired differently, and so they present differently. They see the world differently. The world sees them differently. And I guess it's because of that that Elon Musk isn't going to be as sensitive as Donald Trump to the words that are fired at him. He has an ability to it doesn't go deep. He has an ability to just shrug because of this different wiring. I suppose, I mean, I don't know, this is not an astrology thing, but why was he in this to start with? He has ideas. He's an ideas man. He has ideas about how the world should be. And he probably saw that this friendship and what he could offer the friendship, the donations, I suppose, to get Trump elected meant that it could have been, well, okay, so I give you this money, you get elected, and then you listen to my ideas, and great, because I've got some brilliant ideas, and this would be a great way to get my ideas into the public arena. And Trump probably wouldn't see it that way. But they that for all that they have similarities, they also have a complete inability to actually have a mature enough um, personality to start to do the examination, the looking at it, the psychology between them, and getting a little deeper and getting some meaning out of this friendship. Anyway, right, okay. So I'm looking at so many pieces of paper here now, but so I won't keep going because obviously this has to be quite a short video, but I hope that was useful in some ways. And there's so much talk, isn't there, at the moment, and so many different. Oh, I've got a little doggy here who wants he's saying, "Well, I want my dinner." There's so much talk at the moment and so many opinions flying around, but it is no deeper, I think, than what I've said. It's two children in a school out in the yard playing. I think Donald Trump mentioned this similarity between two children when he was talking about Putin and Zelensky. Quite often, when we say something about other people, it's the very thing that we dislike about ourselves, but we don't recognize it within. So when Trump said Zelensky and Putin were like two children and he needed to let them just play and spar and get it off their chests, actually, Hall of Mirrors, that's something mirroring back to you, and you should look within, because in fact he's very childlike. He is quite immature, and I guess because of Elon Musk's Asperger, his autistic spectrum disorder syndrome, um, then it's he has a different reason for missing somebody else's innuendo or not getting um, what a different person with different wiring might get. So who comes off with more bruising? Donald Trump. He stands to lose more in terms of self-worth and esteem, and he stands to be more bewildered by this. Um, anyway, there we go. Right, I'm going to leave it at that. It was great to talk to you. I'm Alison Chester-Lambert, and if you ever want a relationship examining in this way, it won't come out quite this way, then you know where I am. I do readings, as you know, and it would be great to see you. Please hit a like or something and subscribe if you haven't or what have you. But anyway, if you're a regular, it's lovely to see you again, and I hope that was enjoyable, and I will see you again next week. Okay, bye.